Welcome to This Week in Wimberley. I'm Chris Doelle. I will be joined shortly by Mr. Z, Gary Zupancic. This is a show where we talk about what's going on in and around the Wimberley Valley, all the fun stuff. We will get to that in just a moment, but first, quick message from some people who made this show possible. Are you looking for a fun and unique way to decorate cookies? Introducing Paint Your Own Cookies from 100 Oaks Farms in Inez, Texas. The edible paint palettes make prep and clean up a snap, and their award-winning sugar cookie recipes ensure each bite is a delicious treat. Making PYO cookies is the perfect activity for parties, events, or just a fun night in. It's easy, it's fun, it's super interactive for both kids and adults. You create and decorate your own cookie masterpieces with endless possibilities of designs and patterns. Whether it's for a party, a special event, or just a thoughtful gift, PYO cookie kits are sure to make your occasion a sweet success. Visit their website at 100oaksfarmtexas.com or give them a call at 937-499-4790 to order your own Paint Your Own Cookie Kit today.
Are you looking for a podcast network that talks Texas by Texans? Well, check us out. You're already listening to us, but go to the website, LoneStarPodcast.com. You can also find us on every big podcast platform. LSPN, we have shows in business, entertainment, marketing, music, of course, sports. We have some of the best sports podcasts in the state of Texas, ranging from high school football all the way up to pro basketball. So check us out online, LoneStarPodcast.com. That's the LSPN on every major podcast platform.
And stay tuned to the end because we're going to go over the weather coming up this weekend so that you're prepared, hot or cold, rain or shine. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Mr. Z, Gary Zupancic, to the show. Gary, how are things today?
Things are going rather well. They really, really are.
Nice. We're getting some great weather.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's the great weather because, man, we've been sitting out on the front porch. Of course, got to do our noses every day because of the pollen. But, you know, it really has just been gorgeous.
I got you. And just for the listeners, I wanted to recap how we came to know each other. When was it that you were at Wimberley High School? Because that's where I met you. You were teaching.
Okay. I got there. In fact, we moved to Wimberley in 97. And I was there until 2013, I believe. And then after that, I started working for the Wimberley View.
Nice. Well, like I said, I met you there. You were teaching a communications class, something like that?
Everything. I was teaching newspaper, yearbook, video, photography.
Right.
And I'm trying to think. I had a journalism 1 class. So, yeah.
That may be the one. Yeah, I know. I came up there and spoke to your class, and that's where I first met you. And ever since then, you've been in my short list of good people.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet. So let's talk about Wimberley, not just ourselves, right? What's going on in the area?
Well, one of the main things that really, I'm rather pleased about is elections are now going to be held in May. So, which is always, you're always worried about an election, these days. So it's like, yeah, that was good to see that in print, that yes, we will have an election, and yes, it will be in May, Yeah. So that's always good. And really, the city of Wood Creek, which is right next door, they got a $200,000 grant for a parks initiative. So now I was talking to a couple people yesterday, and they're very, very pleased about that. Because, of course, they're younger, and they have kids. And really, there's a nice golf course, but that's about it, when it comes to kids.
Yeah, so what do you know what their plans are to do with that? Well,
other than, they got the initiative, so, yeah, they got to sit down and plan it now.
Got it. Well, cool. Cool. What else?
Well, takes in sports. Hey, it's basketball season,
Right on.
They had the Hoops Fest, which is their big event the end part of December, and they play both girls and boys teams. And I guess both Wimberley teams held their own. Okay.
Nice.
But this season sort of mixed so far. The girls, there's a lot of new players, and although they got beat really bad, I think by Bernie, they bounced back and they beat Harper. By a nice amount. So both teams are, right now they haven't really played a lot of district games. So, that's really where you find out what kind of teams you all have.
Yeah, definitely. And just like in football, those are the ones that count.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. UL rules, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So when it comes to events, Chris, this is the one time a year that you can find a parking space on the square.
Really?
Seriously. I have a show on the radio station every Tuesdays at 11, and it's like, I'll go maybe 10:30, maybe just a little after 10, but it's like I can't find the space, even in the lumber yard. Yeah, it's pretty funny, and it's if you're a local, you can go into town on a Saturday, and you do your stuff relatively easy. So it's a good time of year, but what I always say is, you'll see a lot of restaurants open up in the spring and summer, and if they can make it through this period, January through March, they'll do all right. But I've seen really many just fold up during these months because of no tourism.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's funny, it's kind of a double-edged sword, that tourism, when you're a local, because market days you love, but you also hate.
Well, living here for so long, you just go ahead and do everything you have to do. You during the week.
During the week,
yeah. Friday night on, hey, it's good luck.
Nice. And before we go on, tell the people about your show at the Hitchin Post. It's a very cool show, very cool concept.
I like to call it the quickest half hour in radio. And
nice.
There really are a lot of noteworthy people in Wimberley. There's we have, I had Matt Dowd on the other day, and he's like the political analyst, or was, for ABC. Now he's with NBC, and he does that. At least once a week he's on the air, and
nice.
he has a place here, and he's a really nice guy, very very interesting. And then we've had there too. I had Ken Kimmons, who's the voice at Brookshire Brothers, and he's really, when the first time I heard him, it was like, oh, they recorded this up in East Texas or something. It's so folksy, And then my wife finally said, no, he's here. That's him doing this right now.
Yeah.
So we became friends. He got in 2015. He got swamped by the river. He lives right on Cypress Creek, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And, I got him in the right places to get help. His wife, I think, broke her leg or something. A terrible period. Terrible period. So every time I go in there, I see him, and it just really warms my heart. But we've had. Yeah,
I tell you, there. I was going to say there are times when I've been going through Brookshire Brothers and I hear him speak, and I think, I'm not in that big of a hurry. I'm just going to stay here and listen to him.
Yeah, and that is true. I'll pop in to get one item. I'm on my way out, and it's like, oh, Ken's back there. I had to go see him. How's he doing? This next week we have a good friend of mine, old time friend, about bees. And this is I'm a gardener, and I'm very interested in bees because when I have bees, man, my garden is just thriving. When they're reduced, it grows, but they ain't too happy.
Yeah, I tell you, and that's this may be getting off the subject a bit, but I'm the same way with gardening. I'm all about the compost, the bees, the no-till, the regenerative farming, and it's really growing. And Wimberley is a perfect area because it's those kind of people are there.
Yeah, exactly, and of course, I had maybe 3 inches of dirt, and I had to truck a lot of dirt in, And I have they're in boxes with little lids on them. In fact, I grow lettuce during January most of the time. That last freeze hurt it, but they're still there. They're still working. It really is. And really you just got to sort of quit gardening. Oh, geez, I don't know, middle of June. This last year was May. This last year was May. It was just 100-degree weather. Wow. And it's every year it's a little different. I'm hoping for good weather this year.
Yeah, no doubt. So what else we got going on in the city?
We got a lot of music coming up, and usually there's a lot of music because there's so many venues. Friday, Jerry Burns is at the Wimberley Cafe. Craig Marshall's at Middleton's. Marvin and Lauren Batura are at Fishtails. Now Marvin Batura, he's really good. I really enjoy him. And John Cavender Duo is at Savages at 8 p.m. Yeah, everything. Everything starts around 6:30, but the John Cavender Duo at Savages starts at 8, and Savages is a little later crowd too. Yeah. Saturday, Garista Kelly is at the Wimberley Inn and Bar. The Hill Country Hundies are at Rough House Brewing. Sliding By is at Ghost Note Brewery, not too far away. John Cavender again is at Middleton Brewery. Steve Woods and Ike Eckenberg are at Base Camp. And at Chaparral is at Mercer Street, which is just down the road, right down 12.
Right.
Sunday, Christopher Cody Meekum is at Ghost Note Brewery. Jerry Burns at Middleton Brewery. So, we got, this Monday through Friday. There's something, if you're really looking, you can find it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. In fact, you and I were talking, one of the things we're planning to do in the future is try to highlight maybe one artist, one song, each one of these episodes, somebody local from the region. And so, if you know somebody or you're interested, reach out to myself or to Gary, and we'll see about getting one of your songs on the show.
I agree. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I just love highlighting people like that. Like Sarah Jarosz before she hit it big. Man, we've got such good talent in the area.
Well, even Paul Simon.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Paul Simon.
Yeah, a little known guy. We could give him a break on this show.
Really? Yeah. Well, he was on the radio station, and they had about 100 people outside the studio just listening to him, and he played me and Julio down at the schoolyard.
One of my favorites.
In fact, I think it's probably in the archives at kwvh.org. If you look it up. Yeah. So if you need that, and of course, if you want to listen to my podcast, or really half-hour show, radio show, that's at kwvh.org.
Excellent. Cool. So what else do we have going on in the area?
Well, like I said, since it's winter, there really isn't too many big events. You have the usual, the Wimberley Valley History the Museum is open Fridays from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, which is really interesting. I mean, they for such a small space, they have done such a good job. It really is. It's good. And, of course, there's VFW Bingo this Friday night. And there's I forgot. This is talking about music at Susanna's Kitchen, January 19th, a week from Thursday. It's Warren Hood. And if you've ever been to Susanna's Kitchen, you'll know what a great time it is. Seriously.
Yeah. The food is amazing.
Well, the food is very good, but it's not just the food. I mean, you're right there. You'll never see anybody closer. I've been there for numerous things, and it's like, wow, you're right there. You're right. Seriously 10 feet away, and you go, oh my goodness, But Ray Wiley was, every time I've seen him comes out and says, well, being here at the Methodist Church sort of cuts down on my repertoire. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
What does your week look like?
Oh, I'm working on a book with Joyce Webb. She's a local. She, good friend of, Kenny Rogers was her bass player at one time. She's a singer.
Nice.
Singer and organ player. 82 years old. Still looks great. In fact, she's the lady that plays on the square on the good weekends.
Nice.
She'll come down there Saturday and Sunday. During the middle of the summer, she'll go down there maybe for about an hour or so. But when the weather was nice, in fact, she was out there, I think, 2 weeks ago. And, we're working on her memoirs. I mean, just everybody from the Sinatra to Sammy Davis Jr. to Kenny Rogers to J.D. Souther. I did an interview with her about 3 years ago, and we've been working on the book since then, but since COVID and everything else has hit, it's really slowed down, but we're both hitting it back again. And hopefully we'll get that published this week, or this year.
Wow.
This year, yeah.
Nice.
So,
and do you have a title for it yet?
Yeah, The Luckiest Saloon Singer.
Ha, yeah. I love that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff just fell in her lap. The first event in her life, the first event in her recording life, she was on a million copy seller.
Wow.
She was in background doo-wop group, and it was all downhill after that. She always says, but she has lots of great stories. In fact, she and her band lived in Sammy Davis's Jr.'s mansion for 6 months. Yeah, he got married to Mae Britt, who was a white actress, and they couldn't stand living in the United States because a lot of the hostility towards them. So, Sammy liked one of her bandmates, Bobby Doyle, and said, where are you staying? They were staying at a motel next to the interstate. And he said, why don't you move in here? I got a rehearsal hall. I got a movie theater. I got everything. Just move in. And they did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else?
I think that's about it. Looking forward to a little cooler weather this weekend. Might get to be a freeze Friday night. But it's supposed to warm up again and maybe some rain. But, we've been promised that a long, long time ago.
That's true. Well, I guess until next week, they can find you on the radio.
Right. Yeah, they can find me on the radio or at Zupancic at hotmail.com.
Nice. And we'll put a link to all of that stuff in the show notes. Gosh, I want to thank you again, Gary, for sitting down with me and sharing just a little bit of news about one of the greatest places in the world.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Our last game, Friday Night Legends, was a big hit. And now you can play the greatest college football teams of all time against each other. Before now, if you wanted to see the 2019 LSU Tigers play the 2001 Miami Hurricanes squad, you were stuck with only your imagination. Not anymore. This new game allows you to play those dream matchups. 1945 Army Black Knights, considered by many to be the greatest team in the history of college football. 2014 Ohio State Buckeyes, featuring Ezekiel Elliott, head coach Urban Meyer, and offensive coordinator Tom Herman. 2005 Texas Longhorns knocked off number 1 ranked USC for their 4th national championship, and so many more. Saturday Legends is that game. What are you waiting for? Get in the game. Saturday Legends.
Get your copy at BoardGameLegends.com. We also want to take a look at what your weather is going to do this week. Friday, we're talking freezing temperatures in the morning with a high of 64. In Sunday, it's going to get windier because it's going to get warmer. Lows of 47, high 73. It's going to be that way Monday, Tuesday, pretty much the same until Wednesday, when we got about 60% chance of rain. Still the same temperature, lows of 50s, highs 74, and drops down a little bit, but gets sunny, 46 to 70 on Thursday, 40 to 70 on Friday. There you go. That's your weather. Dress accordingly, depending on which ones of these events are inside or outside. As always, I want to thank Brother Gary for sitting down with me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for giving us what I consider the most important and valuable gift you can give, and that is your time and your attention. Go out there and participate in your city. participate in all the great events going on in the city, and tell us about it on your Facebook groups, on your Twitter, anywhere you have friends. Share it out.